everyone. How are you doing? Please say hi in the comment section and let me know where you are joining me from. Hi, everyone. My name is Flora Basie. I am a digital accessibility analyst, specialist, and I'm also the founder at Linoratech. Linoratech is an incredible company with the value and mission to support leaders and professionals easily create inclusive and accessible digital products. We want to make sure that everyone can access to information, product and services. And by everyone, I mean also people with visible or invisible disabilities. I like to describe myself because in the audience, oftentimes we have people with low vision or people who are blind. So I am a Black woman. I'm always smiling, but you might hear the intonation of my laugh or giggle throughout this session. I am wearing currently a red suit with a white with kind of a purple dots blouse, and that's about it. So have fun describing yourself as well in the comment section because oh gosh, today's episode is gonna be epic, and I think that it's the perfect time. So today we are going to discover Santa's secrets, crafting your vision for authentic accessibility. I mean, if you are not excited, this is going to be crazy. I am definitely excited. So let me bring my guest speaker in and then we can start talking. So let's see. Oh my goodness. I don't see my guest speaker. Where is he?
Oh, okay, Rudolph. I'll be back out to play in a little while. And all my wonderful friends. I am so excited to be here.
Oh my goodness. It's crazy. I've never dreamed about interviewing Santa Claus, and here he is talking about accessibility. Santa, I am so happy that you're here, Eric. So, Santa Claus, aka
Yes.
Erik Listou, is an incredible individual. You know what? I'm just gonna let him introduce himself. But before that, Santa, I wanna also check in the comments and acknowledge the people that are dropping some thoughts. So please, if you are joining us, don't feel shy. This is an inclusive conversation. We want you to engage with us, have fun, share your thoughts. If there is anything you want to ask Santa, this is the time. I promise you, we can see everything live. So, Eric, I see Santa Claus. I see Reyes said hello. Hi, Reyes.
I realize.
I see also Frankie said hello. Hi, Frankie, with an
No,
icon of
Frankie.
Santa Claus. Love it. But Santa, please tell me, who are you and what you do?
Oh, that's a good question. First, let me describe myself. I'm a I'm not a young man anymore. I'm as old as Christmas. And I have a big white beard. It's as white as the snow. My cheeks were like roses. My eyes, how they twinkle. And I'm wearing a bright red suit with white fur trim and a brass buckle and a belt, all handmade by Mrs. Claus.
Ooh.
Now, I still have my warm woolen mittens. Aren't those wonderful mittens? The elves made these. I'm going to take those off and relax. Oh, Rudolph, I'll be there in a minute. Okay. Rudolph is watching also. All the reindeer here, Mrs. Claus, everyone's watching. So thank you everyone for being here.
I'm super
Who
happy.
who am I? Who is Santa? probably the most recognized person on the planet. How many else wear a hat like this and a red cape and have mustache that curls up on the ends? All natural. Is it all straight today, Flora? I've been, I've had a wonderful life, just a wonderful life. I started out with some college, then I went into the building industry. Who would know? And as a commercial electrician, I quickly discovered I had to know everything because it was my job to make sure the lights work, to make sure everything works. Well, halfway through my career, I started working in residential. That's when I learned about home accessibility. We know how important digital is, but when I started, we didn't have digital. In fact, when I started, we didn't have cell phones. The reindeer had to carry messages to everyone. So my work in accessibility led me to really understand the issues people have and how to make sure that everything is truly accessible. Flora, you're the expert on digital accessibility, and I've learned so much from you. Oh, and I need to share with you. We all see Flora's wonderful, bright smile and her twinkly eyes. I remember when she was just a little baby, she had the same beautiful smile. Oh, I just had to share that, Flora.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm super, super thrilled to have your center, Eric. And one of the things that I want to hear also about you is your journey. You have been, like you said, in accessibility for some time. Can you tell us a little bit about your education, the fact that you also relocated or moved, and you mentioned that you also had a career pivot, which sometimes can be scary for a lot of people. On this platform, the audience sometimes are leaders, some of them are professionals, and some are people with or without disabilities facing changes, or maybe having to decide on a new approach for accessibility. So I'm curious, can you just tell me how was your journey like?
Well, my journey has been wonderful. It hasn't always been riding in a sleigh. Sometimes there's a few bumps in the road, but that's okay. That's okay, because getting past those bumps is part of accessibility. As I said, when I started in the residential field, I learned about education, and there are several programs for education for the building industry. I interfaced for years the building industry, the medical industry. I learned so much from the occupational and the physical therapists about what people need. So my journey has included trying to help and educate the building industry to just do it. Just do it right every time. Flora knows in digital accessibility, don't wait for someone to ask, what do you look like? Just tell them. So that's been my passion. That passion has led me to a little bit of notoriety, like being published in the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal and the Washington Post and on international podcasts. But the most fun I've had is my personal life. May I share a little bit of that with you?
Yes. What do you think, audience? Can we have a yes in the comment section? I'm curious.
And while you're putting your comments in there, it's okay to put in your Christmas wishes. Now is the time. Well, about 34 years ago, I was living in the Washington, D.C. area, and I was specializing in massive, huge public housing projects. And I'm the type that says, it might be better if this, or what if it were this way? Well, my passion led me to, believe it or not, I was offered a presidential appointment to fix our nation's public housing system. And believe it or not, I declined it.
What?
Because I had just come to Colorado. I met a woman on the ski slopes. In 3 months, we were married. 1,000 miles apart, we courted. Our fifth actual date was walking down the aisle. And then shortly after that, my local church asked me to put on a Santa suit. At the time, I did not have a beard. I was clean shaven because I had accepted a position as the executive director of the Denver Habitat for Humanity. So I wanted to be just nondescript. Well, when the church asked me to put on a suit and this big artificial beard, oh, I fell in love with that. I grew my beard back. Mrs. Claus made a suit. So I'm the only man on the planet that wanted white hair. Every day I would say, oh, please, Lord, bring me white hair. I want white hair. So that's led me to, for 33 years, putting on this big red suit
Love it.
and
I love
entertaining
it.
people.
One thing that you said that is quite interesting and also important to remember is the fact that you went from one place to another place, and you also, overcome some of the challenges that come with, relocating or taking or even saying no. You know, I sometimes, when I work with leaders and professionals regarding accessibility, we hear a lot of no. We hear no because there is a time constraint for some of the product that needs to be released. We hear no
Mhm.
because of budget. We hear no sometimes because some people feel like a person with a disability is not really a strong market, or maybe the population of this market is so small that it is not as important. But the truth is that providing accessibility or access is important for everyone, including this market. I believe that there is more than 123 billion people with a disability in the world, according to the WHO, the World Health Organization. One of the things that you mentioned is that is also having a great vision. And
Yes.
you have prepared a little exercise for us to play along to just to figure out how to communicate this vision properly in order to achieve great success in accessibility and in any other place. I am curious. Can you share with us what is that game?
Well, let me tell you first how I answered the question I'm going to ask everyone. A few years back, probably a few decades ago, my wife is an artist. She carves stone and just makes amazing things. And she makes a lot of good cookies too. Well, I had attended a workshop with her. Oh, is my head on straight?
Yes.
And in the workshop, I was expecting to learn about artwork. Instead, the moderator asked everyone to turn to the person next to them. So I'm going to ask you all to turn to your screen and in the chat room, write the answer to this question. The question was, what do you do? But do not talk about your job. Oh, I sat there and I thought, I was so embarrassed. What do I do? I kept wanting to talk about my work, my life. And I finally, it was, Flora, it was just like light bulbs in my head. I blurted out, I make people happy. And the person I was talking to said, well, how do you make people happy? And again, I thought about my work. Well, I do this, I do that, but that wasn't the question. So I had to think, how do I make people happy? Well, certainly when I put on this red suit and laugh like that, but I also make people happy as a musician, as a general entertainer, as a contractor, as a speaker. I started realizing all these things in my life that I did, my jobs, were all to make people happy. So let's ask everyone, Frankie and Rayaz, everyone, please add into the chat what you do. Again, do not talk about your job, but just put in, what do you do? Flora, let me ask you. I'll start out with you. Okay, Flora. Now, most people, I have to kind of coach you along the way a little bit. What do you do, Flora?
I think, oh wow, that's a good question. I should have prepared first. You should have given me a hint, but no. I think for me, if I don't have to talk and about my job, I would say I invite people to the table. That's what I think I do. I'm always inviting people in.
Now, what does that do? You invite them. Well, that's work when you're inviting them. What
Oh,
is the result of what you do? What happens?
I think it's still happiness. I
Yes.
don't know. At the core, it's still happiness.
Don't you help make people comfortable in their lives?
Yes, I do.
Yes, you do. So you help people be comfortable within their surroundings, specifically in the digital world. For me, it was in the built environment.
That's true.
Isn't that your true purpose?
It is true.
That's your true purpose. That's what we often call your vision.
Mm,
A lot of people misunderstand their vision is not what you do. A vision, it's a short word picture
yes.
of what is a result of you in your life. I
Mm,
see Frankie just put in, I help people think differently. That's good. That's wonderful about the range of human experience and ability relative to their job and community responsibilities. Oh, Frankie, you're now on the nice list. Good job. Good job. Flora, you're on the nice list too. Come on, put some comments in there.
Put
In
some
fact,
comments in there. Let's hear what you have to say. And if you're watching this on the replay, still add some comments if you're watching. And Santa Claus will go and read it.
yeah, it's amazing. Your life transforms. When I learned what my true vision was, all of a sudden, all the agonies and all the stress about life and can I afford that and what's going to happen next, it all went away. And as a building contractor, those who are in the building industry understand that it's not always a pleasant task building a structure to meet the dreams of people who have not been able to really elucidate what their dreams are. So being able to kind of on the fly make it perfect for them. So my greatest thrill was after we would remodel someone's home or make their bathroom accessible, they would step back and they would say, we're happy. That filled my heart with joy. It
Ah,
made all the pain go away.
wow. You know what you just described is really going deeper, understanding that deeper inner vision instead of there is many way to to kind of showcase that vision, one being maybe in the job you're doing or maybe in the next job you will be doing, but the deeper understanding of the vision inside is really what you should be using. And I love what you said. When I'm reflecting on how you make people comfortable, that's so true. And I can see that even when I was little, when people are left out or people are, I'm always like, no, it's okay. And that's really what comfort is. And I've also got feedback from people saying, wow, I like talking to you. It's easy. And I was like, it's all about comfort. I love it. Frankie just said something as well. She said, yeah, come on, roll in my stocking.
Frankie, I need to let everyone know this is very important. No one has ever received coal. No one. That would be negative. That wouldn't make people happy. Everyone, at least by Christmas Eve, everyone has the opportunity, whether it's Christmas Eve or any day, to make people happy. That's how you get on the nice list. Make people happy.
I love it. So, what's next, Santa? Now that a person is able to define the vision, what is the next thing they can do to align authentically with the work they do? If it's accessibility or if it's something else.
Great question. Great question. Here's how you can think of it, everyone. Your vision, that's that lofty word picture of what you do. Your mission, and I'm talking vision statement and mission statement, your mission is the work that you do every day. An easy example is the worlds of religion. Most religions have a vision of the future or life beyond or whatever their vision is. And how do they practice that? We used to call them mission houses. Now they're usually just churches. In fact, I'd like to read, everyone's familiar with LinkedIn.
Yes.
Here is the vision and the mission for LinkedIn.
Okay.
The vision to create economic opportunity for every member of the global workforce. That's their vision for every member of the global workforce.
Yes.
What is their mission? How do they do that? How do they achieve creating opportunities? Their mission statement, and I'm reading right from their website, connect the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful. Here's an example of how you use these. Flora, let's say we're in, a business schmooze session and everybody's walking around and someone says, "Hi, Eric, what do you do?" Instead of starting to ramble on about all the things I do, I just say, "I make people happy." Tell me more about you, Flora. Then you'll start talking about yourself.
Yes.
Well, the whole time I've been watching your body language, your response to my statements, how you get excited when you talk about what you do. Most people don't know these secrets. Then when you get kind of done, you'll usually say, "Now, you make people happy. Tell me more. How do you do that?"
Yes.
Then I simply quote my mission statement. What I call the secret of the 6-second hook. I can hook any audience, any group of people by stating my vision, asking them, and then stating my mission. It sounds simple, but it's not. It's very difficult. It can take weeks or months to create a compelling and exact vision and mission statement.
But I love it because one of the things that I've noticed, Santa Eric, is it's true. When I go to networking and I'm asking someone what they do, if they are sharing a lot about we do this, we do that, I get lost. And it probably is not even exciting me at this point. But if you are giving me a short statement like I make people happy, what? Okay, I'm curious for the next thing. Like how? And so it creates an easy conversation. And if I'm leaving this conference or this meeting or this place, I will always remember this single person that made it simple for me to retain the information. So definitely, and I love also that you kind of brought the example with LinkedIn, which goes to show that even big businesses are doing that. So really, audience, try to figure out at a core what is your vision. And if you are not sure, you can connect with Santa Claus, Santa Eric, I will say, to have
Yes.
more information. Or also think about your statement, your mission statement, which I love as well. So does that mean, Santa Claus, Santa Eric, that sometimes the mission can change? Or
Yes.
no? Does that happen?
Well, good. Your vision stays the same.
Yes.
I see Reyes, if I'm saying your name correctly. Don't say my job is to help others. Just say, I help others. I help others. That's going to capture my interest. And when you say it, don't just go, well, I help others. Be passionate.
It comes with a feeling.
With joy. Say, I help others.
I
it's
love
just
it. Eric, Santa Eric, can we read quickly what Reyes just said? I want to make sure that when people are watching and if they're not able to read it, do you want to go ahead and read it?
Sure. Reyes said, my job is to help others, especially those facing challenges. A life spent helping others is truly meaningful. When a disabled person uses the resources we've created to study, it fills me with joy, knowing that our work is making a real difference in the world.
Ooh.
Well done. And the vision statement always stays the same. Sometimes the work changes.
Yes.
So your mission might change. Just think of going on a mission trip. I'm going to do this now.
Yes.
That can change. That
Mm.
won't upset people. But you always stay on your true course
Yes.
to your vision.
I love it. So, after understanding the vision and the mission, how do we align that with the purpose? And what is the next phase after that? I'm just curious.
Oh, you're asking me a lot of good questions here. Well, after that, and creating the true mission, that takes a while. That's a lot of in-depth work to
Yes.
really understand what you do, what Reyes and Frankie do,
Yes.
and helping them to create and craft clear statements. LinkedIn didn't create their statements overnight. My guess is LinkedIn spent 6 months and probably 100 people trying to
Mm,
come up with the right words. After you create those, then you need to set goals.
mm.
And most people say, well, my goal for today, don't do that. Start with 10 years from now, where do I want to be?
Ooh.
Then 5 years from now, where will I be to get to that 10 year?
Yes.
Then you go down to 1 year.
Yeah.
In 1 year, this is my goal.
Yes.
Then after 1 year, you come down to immediate action steps. Not what do I need to do today to get somewhere a year from now?
Yeah.
What do we need to do today? What is our immediate action steps to reach our 10-year goal?
Yeah.
It
I
makes
love
it
it.
makes it fun.
It,
It's
it, it
very
does make
similar.
a big impact. You know what? We have about a few minutes left, but gosh, already understanding the vision, already understanding the mission, and already understanding the next step, which is aligning everything as a purpose. But long term, it's just mind blowing. I mean, it's a thing that most people will know, kind of, but maybe not, you know, they may not take or give enough, time to refine that properly. And I can tell somehow that it's not really happening many times with people, professional
Right.
individuals. We usually embrace this approach when we have to in businesses, but individuals sometimes don't set proper long-term goals. And even when I work with, you know nice leaders or nice managers or individual to work in accessibility, you can tell that some people are doing a fantastic job when others are always looking for short term action. Like, oh, let's just figure out this. It doesn't have to be, but they're not looking at the long term impact. And so that's why most of the businesses get, some lawsuits. They get less customers because we are going with more innovative and inclusive, products or services. They're losing people because they're not thinking sometimes clearly long term. Because when you see long term, you understand that probably embracing accessibility is the best way. Now, you said you can set goals. What are the
Mhm.
goals? I mean, gosh, I wish I can hold on to Santa Eric for longer, but we are at the end of this session. And so, Santa Eric, where can people connect with you?
Well, you can send me a letter to the North Pole. You can come visit me. But I also have a few websites. Contact me through the chat. The simplest one is my name, ericlistou.com. Also, santaandmrs.com or homeaccessibility.expert. You can always find me. And I want to share what Santa does. When a child sits on my lap, I don't just say, what do you want for Christmas? A Barbie doll. Okay, next. Ooh, what color hair on your Barbie doll?
Mm,
What color should the dress be?
mm,
I ask questions
yes.
as a professional, as not as Eric, but as Santa. I ask those questions to lead that child to walk away not thinking, I'm getting a Barbie doll. They're thinking, I want a Barbie doll with blonde hair. And true story, one little girl one year said, but you know, Santa, no high heels because they just hurt my calves. Maybe some low pumps.
Oh, wow.
That that was a 2-year-old child gave that comment.
Oh, my goodness. The
So
details.
I invite everyone, kind of think of yourself. In fact, one of my marketing talks is called When You Put on the Big Red Suit.
Mm.
No one, Flora, no one has ever come up and said, Erik, you look good in that suit. So when we look at Flora, we don't say, Flora, your hair looks pretty. We say, look at Flora, she's amazing. She's look at her face. It lights up when she smiles. That's how we remember Flora. So we trust her because everything she does must be full of joy and happiness.
Yes. Ooh, I love it. Love it. You know, that's my identity. That's really who I am at the core. I just love it. Thank you again, everyone, for joining. And please say thank you to Santa, Erik. Erik, it was a pleasure to have you in today's episode. I mean, I am still gonna send you more later. I see Rhea said, thank you so much.
You,
Bye,
you
everyone.
are so welcome. Bye bye. Merry Christmas to all. Happy business and accessibility.
Yes.